All right, it's 5 o'clock. We are recording this meeting for posterity's sake. And I think we'll just do a quick call to order, and if you want to do that, Ginger.
Okay, so Carrie,
Here.
Ginger Garrett here, Emily Horton.
Nope.
And right there. Here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I have to say it. Oh, who knew?
Liz James, do we know?
Did anybody hear from Liz?
Haven't heard.
I haven't either.
And Lawrence gonna probably
Zoom
try to
in.
zoom in.
Yeah.
Joe,
Here.
Jerry, has anybody heard from Jerry?
No, I have not heard from Jerry.
Corin,
I'm here.
Emily Hickson Shepherd, has anybody heard from Emily?
I have not heard from her either.
Okay, and Yvonne.
Yvonne. Thank you, Ginger. I guess we'll just go, we don't have quorum right now, but we do. I'm sorry. Yeah, we do. Oh, we have 5.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's cool.
thank you. Awesome. So the approval of October minutes, has everybody had a chance to read through those and have any issues with the minutes?
They were fine with me, like I.
Okay. I will make a motion then to approve the October minutes.
Second.
Everyone vote for
Favor.
in.
Yeah,
Okay.
cheers.
Yeah.
All right. And it looks like we have a visitor online. We don't have any visitors in person. No, Tom, I don't know if this is the same Tom we met before, but welcome, Tom. We have visitor comments. I wonder if Tom wants to. Liz. Oh, Liz is coming on.
Okay, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Just did roll call and.
I got you.
Here. Would you go and ask them guys if our online guests can participate with comments? Or, If
I
you're
think
on-
he could do his 3 minutes.
no, I know, but I don't know really how to. Oh,
Allowed to talk.
yeah, so
Okay.
I'll do that. Tom,
Can you hear me?
yeah, sorry,
Oh,
did
great.
you have anything you wanted to share? You've got, as a visitor, you've got 3 minutes to comment on things if you have any comments. Otherwise, we're happy to just have you join.
No, I'm just joining. I can't seem to, it seems the chat's disabled. I don't know if you can see me. I don't think my camera is projecting, but
No, but
Uh,
we can hear you just fine.
okay, great. So no, I'm just listening in. I've seen, I guess, one sign for the leave the leaves, but didn't know how that was going.
Good, well, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, the first item of old business is the boards and commissions meeting. I wanted to give you guys an update. All right, a little loud. So last month, on the 10th of October, so right after our commission meeting, I was asked to go to a meeting with the mayor and the city attorney. And they wanted to, well, actually have the agenda. They wanted to talk about the sunshine law, the role of advisory boards and commissions, the process for making proposals to the city, the role of the council liaison and the city council liaison. Excuse me, the staff liaison and the city council liaison. The annual reporting to the council, staff time assignments, and a board and commission handbook that they're trying to put together. So it was a lot of information, and I think I'm just gonna kind of boil it down succinctly for you guys. I think the important things are, that they, I think are trying to formalize the processes a little bit more than they have been in the past, which I understand. I think probably they've got a really a good group of active commissions now, us being part of that, so they want to make sure we all are paddling the boat in the same direction. So they've created a boards and commission work session, a regular meeting request form. So we'll have, I don't know, you see that? And then, so there's a process for that, and we have to fill this form out and give it to Yvonne if we want to request a meeting with the board or with the council. And then there's also a form for requesting funding that we need to fill out. If we want to make policy recommendations, they've got like a process they want you to follow. So when we start thinking about those things, if we do start thinking about those things, that's that process. And then,
This is great,
yeah,
really useful.
they also started, it was basically an outline, but they've started putting together a kind of like a welcome to the commission handbook. So when you become a commissioner, you, rather than just showing up for your first meeting and kind of seeing how things go, you actually would get a little book that would tell you about what to expect and connect you with folks on your commission. So that's just starting. They
That
have,
would be awesome.
yeah, it would be, you
The
know.
learning curve
Right,
is really long.
yeah, so that's something they want to work toward too. So that's just sort of generally, we went through all these things with them, but I don't think we're at the point of using any of those forms yet. But lastly, they talked about which I think most affected us is like the quorum and whether you're having a meeting or not, what constitutes a meeting. I think we probably have less to worry about than some other committees or commissions, like some of the more public facing, like the library. But if we do have subcommittee meetings, which I know we do with the Sustainability Commission, we can have those meetings. We'll take minutes, but because it's a subcommittee, that subcommittee comes back and reports to the commission, which we are doing, and then that becomes record in the minutes. So that's really all that needs to happen there. And I mentioned earlier to Ginger that the minutes are pretty streamlined. The only thing they want in those are the topics, kind of bullet point topics we talked about, who was at the meeting. And then, of course, if we take any votes or, make any motions, so it's pretty streamlined. And our quorum is 5, because we have a 9-member commission, and if we don't have 5 people at a meeting, it is not a meeting. So if there were a couple of us who ran into each other at the coffee shop and talked about some stuff, it's not a meeting. But if 6 of us come together, and it needs to be a public meeting, we need to get it on the, get an agenda out in advance, so.
I have a question about that.
Yes,
Our planting day, more than 5 of us participated. Does that mean it counted as a meeting?
no,
Okay, how come?
well, we weren't actually like discussing topics, and I think it was I think they would consider that an activity.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. Any other questions? All right. We do have, so Ginger, you will find out soon whether or not you are still on the commission, and there was a candidate to fill
Bill's spot.
Bill's spot, so that I would assume by next month we'll have, well, by our next meeting, we'll have someone in Bill's position, and you'll know whether you are, I hope, staying.
Yes.
All right, The next item on our agenda is a Leave the Leaves update. The signs are, really don't have much of an update. I've seen some signs around the neighborhoods, which is fun to see. They are on sale at City Hall to anyone, for, I think it was $6. Or was it $7? So, spread the word. I think, Scott Davis, the, director of Parks and Rec, said that they've sold 47 signs to date. I think we ordered 150, so, just spread the word, we'll get the word out about that. But it's been fun, and I think, Corin, you said you saw, Maypop had put a little something out.
Yeah, the Maypop sent their mass email out saying leave the leaves. I assume it's at least tangentially connected to what we're doing.
Yeah. And Gene Ponzi, put an article or a blog story together on the Missouri Botanical Gardens website about Leave the Leaves, and not just what we're doing in Webster, generally about the movement.
It was good. She
Yeah.
spelled my name wrong though.
Oh, did you?
Oh, no.
The city put
Um,
one too that was like New York Times, or there's been a couple that have floated around Facebook world,
Cool.
but the city put one out supporting Leave the Leaves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ginger, I guess now we could talk about that. Did you say you were, if one of us wanted t-shirts, you'd been
Yes,
working on?
just let me know. I've already submitted like the initial order to the Mash Pit. It's $20 for a long sleeve shirt. It's gonna be like a sage green. I don't know if you can see this color. It's gonna be this color. Well, actually, it's called cactus. But it's gonna leave the leaves on it in the same like picture that you guys had for the 4th of July shirts.
And those you just basically, you place an order and people are gonna pay them
Yeah.
directly.
Well, I'll just pay the invoice when he gets it to me. I haven't, I sent it like last week and I'm waiting to hear back. I was kind of working on some stuff for Edgar Road and then the high school, and all of my worlds are colliding right now. So I haven't had a chance to follow up with him, but as soon as he gets the invoice to me, I'll get it paid, and I guess he'll let us know when our shirts are gonna be ready, and I'm sure that, going forward, since that's gonna be on file, anybody, it'll be really easy, like for the second round of shirts, or if anybody just wants to go in and do like one-offs and stuff, so.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for coordinating that, Ginger. Those are gonna look
Oh.
so good.
Of course, I'm excited, so we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
All right,
Did you get that Emily's here now?
Emily.
Oh, yeah,
Dixon.
thank you. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Let's see. Then, anybody have any more questions or comments about the Leave the Leaves initiative?
A little less popular than the No Mo April so far, it looks like.
Oh, you mean
Signs.
signage?
Less
Yeah.
popular, are you
Yeah,
saying?
because we sold out the Leave the Leaves signs like that, or gave them.
No mo, yeah.
Oh, you're right, I'm switching.
And the
them.
Leave the
Huh.
Leaves, right.
It's been-
Well, there's one that's under our neighborhood, but it's an anonymous person who used to leave their doggy bag at our Black Lives Matter sign, and then they stopped, but now they're leaving it at the Leave the Leave sign. So,
Okay.
but we don't know who it is, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Anonymous comments are worth nothing.
It's not me.
Thank you.
I'm a
Thank
bit of
you.
a dissenter, but it's not me.
Thank you.
All right, then we'll go on to the next item of business, which is the Green Our City Tree Planting Day regroup. Just want to say thank you, everyone. I know that was a lot of work, and I'm so excited that we did it.
Actually, that's a great event.
Yeah, so I put together, I don't know if you guys remember this from last year, but I did a little report card last year about the tree planting, so I put together another one. I can email that out, and just little blurb about what we did, and then the ecological benefits from iTree, the program iTree. I don't know if you guys have seen that online, but so that's for the 40 trees that we planted.
41, right?
40.
Do what? Like what?
Oh, no, 40, because one location we couldn't plant the tree.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
So, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So how did that work out? How did that turn out? Where the concrete was?
That, there's no tree there.
There's no tree. and there's
That
not
tree
gonna be.
went to another
Yeah,
resident,
okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
So 40 trees, 38 stewards, good work all around. What else? We gotta decide when to open up the applications for next year, but I think that might wait right away, is what Corinne's saying without the payment. I think we could probably do that. I just need to coordinate that with Jenny, so.
I think you need to figure out how many trees you want to realistically plant before you open it up.
Yeah,
I think 40 is just a little too much,
yeah,
so.
I would agree. I do.
There's a lot to pull off, Corin.
Okay.
There's a lot behind the scenes magic happening.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about having,
Superstars.
how do you guys feel about having, extra hands?
It helped.
Did
I
it?
think having the holes dug like helped tremendously.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's fast.
This was my first year. I have nothing to compare it to, but I do think the idea of opening it up ASAP, like, is our future plan. Just because, don't you think neighbors will be like, oh, you got a tree, where did it come from? If you could go right on while you're thinking of it and apply to be involved next year, like we had several neighbors ask us what we were doing. Then we could direct people, we could even have flyers now that I'm thinking of it, like, oh, here's what you do if you want to try to sign up for next year.
Yeah, I think that's great, and that kind of goes to a tree tag. We've been talking about tree tags for a while, but so are there any other, thank you for the comments, Liz. Anybody else have any other comments about how the day went, just logistically, so we can
Earlier,
get the trees in to,
like a week before.
okay.
That initially was supposed to happen.
2 weeks. At least a week for.
Yeah.
Well, as far as next steps go, then, Joe and I actually met in our subcommittee and talked about things we think could be improved for next year and things that went well. So we're gonna try and set up a meeting with Public Works before the holidays to
Mhm.
just kind of talk about next steps, but the other, and next year. The other thing that we've been working on is a tag, pass that around. That is the front and the next page is the back, so a tag that would be basically advertisement on the trees. So we would retroactively get these tags on all the trees we've already planted, but then have them for future plantings. But the design of that tag describes the initiative, gives you a QR code to go to the website, gives you the website address. And then the back of the tag says what kind of tree it is and when it's planted. So we've been talking about that for a while. It just took a while to design it, but the question I have is about paying for those tags. I haven't gotten a lot of feedback from Jenny on it. I know she's busy. I found a source for the tags and a cost for the tags. And I asked Jenny if she had a source that could do it cheaper or just,
I have a laminator at preschool. Give to the students. Just-
Sit there for a couple days, laminate.
I love laminating.
I think this tag that I got a price for it was definitely a waterproof tag. It's,
Oh, we have a laminator.
I think laminators,
Kind of cheesy, too cheesy.
Eventually you'll separate
yeah.
over time.
Yeah, I've had a tag, I should have brought that tag with me tonight. I think I've showed it to you guys, it's Forest Green Leaves tag for their trees that they plant. It's a nice tag. And the source for that was Master Tag, so I checked Master Tag out and we can get the minimum tag with Master Tag is 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's $250.
Oh,
It's gonna take a lot of years getting up to that.
Oh,
Yeah, 960 some odd trees.
That's a lot of trees.
that's 1,000 minus.
We need 'em.
Would they all have to be the same tree facts on the back? Like, do the cards have to be identical? Because we have different types of trees that we've planted.
Yeah, on the back of this tag, actually, it's designed that I don't know if you can see it, but that you write in the name of the tree.
Oh, I
This tree
see.
is designed to be evergreen, so,
I see. So they're printed all the same and then you,
yeah.
that's nice.
So like
Yeah.
the Sharpie and stuff, it wouldn't eventually
Here's the
come
problem.
off.
Well, the
Thank you,
tag
Dana.
Like
That's
writing on like the tree and.
with a Sharpie, it'd be okay. And it might, but maybe that's something we check when we're doing our annual inspections and take a Sharpie and rewrite it on
Got
there or
it.
something.
Sounds good.
So we're not gonna ask the homeowners if they want to name their tree.
No, I know, I don't know the best way to write that anyway. I'll send it. My tree name is
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
I would be for that as well, but.
Chippy.
I guess I would like to ask if we could pay for this with the tree fund funds. So does that mean I need to fill out a form? Emily Hickson?
I'm not sure how that works with the tree fund, because I don't think you filled out a form for Green Our City in general, right? So,
Correct.
I think
um,
it's just an expense.
yeah, as long,
Well-
but I don't know who decides whether it's, okay to take it out of that.
Right. Well,
or-
initially, I think through Yvonne or maybe Scott, Dr. Peoples said, yes, you can buy the buckets and make the magnets and do some of the printing.
Yeah, I
and
would
things.
think this would be in the same category as the info sheets and the buckets and the magnets, so.
Okay,
it should be fine.
do you think that that cost is? I mean, this is a everyone in the horticulture world uses Master Tag to do tagging for pots and things like that, so I know they're a really good producer. Do you think $250 for 1,000 of them is like something that I should take to Dr. People?
I mean, and that's a lot of tags. That's
Yeah,
my
you
own-
can't,
Tags, but it's not a lot of money.
it's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, yeah.
And
I'm-
you can't, they won't do less than that.
but the program's gonna continue more than a few
It
years, right?
sure is,
So-
we're gonna use up all those tags,
Exactly, right.
Emily.
Right,
have a goal, right, of at least 1,000 trees to plant.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. Well, I guess I'll reach out to Jenny one more time. And if she comes back with another option, we could price it. But if I don't hear back from her, I'm just gonna go ahead with this to Dr. Peoples and get these made. Because the other thing, that's their minimum number. And if you are asking for less than 5,000, which is what most retailers, et cetera, do, then you're at the sort of the mercy of their printing schedule. It's not until you get 5,000 or more printed that they will print them when you want them. So we'll still have to wait a little while for these.
Okay.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Not about the tags, but it sounded like you guys did a lot of behind the scenes work to get that planting done. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Is there a way we can reduce that burden on you in the future?
We would have to think about that. Well, I think part of the burden is communicating with the homeowner.
Well, you, Public Works, Andre.
Well, yeah, I think that needs to stay.
The tree purveyor, the nursery, it's a lot. It worked out, it happened,
Yeah.
we did it,
It's good.
so.
I think potentially communicating with the homeowners could be an option, something we could divide up,
Mhm.
and
I'd be happy to talk to homeowners.
format. The thing I
Would be the
want to
communicate.
make sure of though, which was a concern that came out of this year for me, is just from hearing feedback from the homeowners, because Joe and I followed up with some people, not everybody got the same directions about watering. And, you know, we were very detailed, I think, at the workshops with homeowners and, you know, I know that I've just said it so many times, like what the directions are, and I was been putting it on everything that I'm working on. So for me, it was like just second nature to say, you know, 15 gallons a week, once a week, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think everybody got the directions that same way. So part of what would be a little challenging about having people communicating was that we're making sure that we all get the same message to those homeowners.
So
So
make a video like the other videos we want to make,
we could make it,
and then just have, well, I know if you want to
making
get.
a video sounds really good. It takes
To make it
so
happen.
much effort. That was actually one of the things I talked about in the mayor's meeting, like just calling Jenny and asking for a video is a huge ask.
We had Merrick's Hall students, seniors put together a really good video for us. It was professional. And they did it as a part of their class, but I think Project Clear makes you watch certain videos before you'll get a grant. And that's what I sort of envision that we do, all the stuff where they have to click
Yeah.
on and watch the videos. And then they can always go back to.
Yvonne, was that the honeysuckle one?
Yeah.
Well, anybody want to volunteer to pick up the make a video task?
Oh, wow.
Because we had talked about not actually making the video, organizing making the video. I wouldn't expect one of us to pull out a camera and make a video.
If we can get like Webster University students, or like
Yeah.
you said, near next
Yeah.
hall, or maybe in the high schoolers, you know, working on a project, we can reach out to like the forest relief people and.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
we've got
We've got the
people.
contacts, it's just the equipment and the editing and that's a lot of work.
And they're getting the
Yeah.
right people at the right place at the right
That's-
time with the tree and
It's an photography class, like, but I don't know if they would also do video.
so that's one thing that would be helpful. Go ahead, Liz.
Making a video about how to water the tree.
How to plant a tree
Water
and
a
water a
tree.
tree and what the benefits of trees are.
Okay. I thought you were just talking about watering, so I was like, it seems like it would be way more simple than that, but that's detailed.
Yeah, there's several, I mean, we've got an outline of what would need to be in the video because it's everything we talked about at the workshop.
Yeah.
But it would be finding someone who could, and I'm only throwing that out there because like video to me is down on the list now. It's lowered itself on the priority list.
So the commission would supply the storyline, so to speak, and find someone to do all the technical work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about like some Boy Scouts? Like that could be part of their tree steward badge. And
Or it
could be
Eagle
Eagle
Scout
Scout
project.
well, right. I was gonna say high school level. Like they could, like this is their world. These kids can do, like my kids will have a friend over and they make a commercial for something on the weekend and it's like shots from inside the fridge. And I'm like, what? Like these are 9-year-olds, you know, like kids can make that stuff really easily.
Something that has to
Anyway.
be developed by the team here, or can you find something that's already out there for planting a tree, watering a
We
tree?
found some things that have already been done and sent those to homeowners who could not attend the workshops this year, and they were decent. But you know, we would want them branded Webster Groves and have all the tools we have and see the same faces that people see at the workshops and things like that. So it's
I can definitely bring it up, Boy Scout stuff. To see if they'd be, I mean, I'm sure they.
I guess I really need somebody though. I don't just,
I'll look into it, Carrie.
okay.
That's what you need.
Yeah, I don't need to be like, yeah, this Boy Scout will do it. And then I have a Boy Scout thing. That's not helpful.
Right. I got it. I got you.
Sorry.
I have one more question and not related to the video. Would we be interested in doing this more than once a year, like maybe twice a year in Green Our City? Too much, it's too much. Okay.
That's my initial reaction right away.
Yeah.
We've got
Likewise.
a lot of projects. I mean, I love planting trees. Like I'd be down with that being all of our projects, but we've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
If we're gonna continue doing
Well,
our,
just because, you know, we're starting right now planning for fall. I mean, we're talking, Joe and I had a conversation last week about meeting with Public Works before the holidays for next fall. So
Yeah, we're already thinking of 2024.
I don't know how we would insert a spring planting at this point, at this juncture.
You'd have to run the application process all year long. And then you have to get trees in spring and fall and have to do locates and drilling twice a year. You know, it doubles the amount of work.
It's like a full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. For Public Works. So.
All right. Anything else about Greenor City? It's so exciting. I'll send this little report card out so you guys can see it. I love the group picture. I forgot who took it, but
My one success of the
yeah,
day.
that's great. So it's really great to see all the facts in here, the
It was,
benefits
it's an awesome
economically.
event.
Yeah.
I'm in awe, really.
So thank you all for participating, and thanks to the Boy Scouts who were part of the teams as well. And we'll give you an update after the holidays. And I will shoot.
Are you gonna send copies of these to us as well?
I can.
Can you, if you wouldn't mind?
Sure.
Would you do?
Yeah. I'll communicate with you, Yvonne, then on this, the tag and potential ordering. Okay. All right, next item on old business is Make a Difference Day recap.
yes, it was very successful. The parks had 12 events going on. and
Wow.
We had at least 150 participants.
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
very
So
nice.
I can send everybody details of what was accomplished if you want,
Thank you.
instead of having Ginger try to.
Yeah, if you, Kathy could put that in an email, I'll just
Okay.
paste it into.
You did have, who was on a crew that day?
I was out of town, not me.
You were,
I was
you were
there.
on the stream
Yeah,
cleanup?
I was in Shady Creek and Glen Park.
What was the craziest thing you pulled out of the creek?
We pulled out like 2 full tarps.
Nice.
Also like, pair of jeans, a shirt. I wonder where the person is.
There was a wallet with all of Bible
Wow.
credit cards in it
Oh,
too.
wow.
That I don't know who, it was on my desk when I got back and it was
Wow.
soggy.
Oh, wow.
And
we
then,
had a whole truck on Shady on Pacific. Like a
Like a-
whole truck bed, like tires,
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
Oh, God.
Lazy Boy, insane. I'll send you pictures, Yvonne. It was like,
oh, okay, yeah, that'd be good because their MSD is looking for reports.
oh, okay. Well, Brian
Uh,
Walker came and he drove off with, like, we had to cover it. It was like so mounded up.
Okay, fantastic.
Awesome.
And I think you had 38 volunteers? 38
Yeah.
volunteers?
Well, I was up there and then I had a team down at the Liberty Tree and then there was another team at the church on Kirkham. So there were 3
Yeah.
spots. I think it was about 38 between the 3.
Yeah. And Laura helped with honeysuckle.
Oh, that's right.
Back, and Carrie planted some flats of plants over at Larson Rain Garden. So, yeah, it was good.
Good work. All right. Oh, I'm curious, did the city, I know Friday of Make a Difference Day weekend was gonna be city workers making a difference. Did that happen?
The weather kept saying it was gonna rain, so we had a lot of things sort of planned.
Yeah.
And so, since it was our first year, it wasn't quite as successful as we wanted it to be, but there were a few projects that happened.
Good. Everybody making a difference. Okay, next item of old business is trees of distinction. Want to talk about that? I think, Yvonne, you sent something to Joe to review.
You know, is that the only one you had so far this year?
Well, there was a lady with the tulip tree that I sent you last year, and it's pretty magnificent. So I
Yeah.
can try to resend Valerie.
Yeah, I looked at that before.
No good. Just okay,
It's just okay.
okay.
What's this one?
The sugar maple at Chestnut Hill. Ginger,
Oh,
you know that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful,
Um,
beautiful tree.
It's not like huge by any means, but the actual fall color. And I went there, I've seen people on Facebook talking about it
Is that
and
like considered public?
yeah, it's Chestnut Hill and Egger Road. It's like a little MSD wedge, kind of you're never gonna be able to build there ever type of lot.
Where is it? Edgar Road and what?
Chestnut Hill, the leaves aren't dropped, but
Oh, yeah, there's some clearing back in there along
Yeah.
that creek.
So it's not privately owned?
I don't think so.
Is that where there's some kind of project going
It's like
right
right
now?
of way type.
What'd you say, Liz?
Isn't that where there's like some kind of clearing out happening?
Yeah.
for some-
It's- yeah,
Yes,
Close to that.
Close to it.
that's MSD.
The
MSD's doing the clearing through there, but I don't know who
Who
owns
owns
the
it?
property.
The
Apparently.
neighborhood is trying to organize a planting there. I saw some discussion of it on the
Okay.
internet.
So who's doing
That
it?
would be kind of,
Neighborhood citizens, people who live in the Chestnut Hill subdivision there.
Really?
can we find
Yeah.
out somehow? who
Yeah, I
owns
walked
that
back in there.
property?
There's an old roadbed back there.
Go to
that-
county.
Yeah, you can do a parcel search.
Know a
I
few
can look.
people
I
who
haven't
live
got a
in
chance
that.
to do that, but I
I
can
can ask.
find out.
Well,
I
if
have to
there,
get a name of the.
The neighbors,
citizen.
it looks pretty organized for a neighbor.
I think
I
there's
mean,
two
there's-
separate things happening. I think MSD is doing some clearing and the
Oh,
neighborhood's trying
I
to get
Yeah.
planned.
Yeah, because there's stakes with
That's probably.
tags,
MSD.
right, that's MSD.
would be
Okay,
cool if we could, if we find out if someone owns the tree, and I guess if it's a public tree, we can still award a tree of distinction, but if that neighborhood group is getting involved in trying to embrace that area, it might be kind of fun to bring them
well,
to
is it,
Arbor
there's been
Day.
some tree cutting back in there, some fairly sizable stumps, so is this tree near?
No, it's just close by.
Just close by, okay,
It's not in danger.
No.
okay.
I heard from them that they were, what did they say? They were clearing out invasives and they started planting native trees and then a landscaper cut them all down, not realizing what they were. And then they were back to square one. So that was the last thing I heard from them. So if I can figure out who that was, I'll put them in touch with us maybe.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
two people that live in that track. I can reach out to them both.
So I saw people talk about that tree, the sugar maple,
Oh, yeah.
on Facebook. And I went there and took photos because I was pretty sure somebody was gonna submit and they ended up doing it. So I got photos of it in like
Nice.
bright, vibrant fall color. So I can send that to everybody in the email so everybody can see.
Yeah,
It's not a huge tree by any means, but the color is pretty wild.
It's
So
gorgeous.
Notable.
yeah, it really is. So. I can go look at the tulip popper again and I can get measurements of both trees and we can do a
Okay.
side by side comparison.
Yeah, and
just,
I saw it from a block away, so if there's defects in the trunk, I didn't see that.
yeah,
Okay.
well, would you mind sending that information to everybody?
Yeah.
And then also checking the county's website to
Yep.
see if it's a public right of way tree or a, wouldn't it be in the inventory if it was a,
it would be, yeah, but I don't think it is. I think it's some weird
Oh. okay,
swath of land.
all right.
So I can check the inventory too, but
No, the little tree that.
All right, well, since we don't have a meeting scheduled in December, it's soon enough to just pick up the conversation on that. I mean, it's early enough in the year to just pick up the conversation about trees of distinction in January, right?
absolutely.
I think. so.
Okay,
I think we typically were trying to run trees of distinction to like end at the end of this November, beginning of December, just so we could
Get pictures.
get pictures. And if we're gonna get a plaque made, we had time before Arbor Day instead of like
Right.
waiting until like March scrambling and then we have Arbor Day, you know, so.
okay. So we'll
I'll do some.
we'll bring this
investigating.
back up again
Yeah.
in January.
Sounds good.
All right, if there's nothing else about the fees of distinction, we've got the. I just wanted to remind everybody about the Eco Ed, shoot, I was gonna print that and I didn't. The Eco Ed event that's next Thursday evening at Webster University. Oh, this is like a good story, Carrie. Does anybody remember who the speaker is? Because it was gonna be a good one. It was someone from SLU or Webster. I think it's Webster, talking about the way people and interface with the landscape and the ecological sort of
Right.
Is it someone from
components
the
of those
garden?
things coming.
Is it
No,
someone-
it's someone from the university, Webster U. All right, well, I will send something out, but because I'm planning on going to that one. It sounded really interesting. I mean, something that would speak to anyone on this commission.
When is that
Um,
scheduled?
The Ego Ed series is at,
Webster University.
I don't remember what
interdisciplinary
time.
It's-
Yeah, it's in the lecture hall at Webster University on the campus. It's in it's on the events calendar, I know.
Oh, the extra kids that night.
If I can
Events
make it.
calendar for Webster
The
University?
city, for the city,
Oh, okay.
because it's a city event.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so that was my not so good reminder.
Do you want to talk about the subcommittee update on the eco ed thing via email? Or do you want
Yeah,
me to?
what do you mean?
Carla emailed us
When did you email us?
2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah, I figured we were gonna set up another meeting, so yeah, we could just do that.
Real quick update is they're not sure they have the bandwidth to maintain the series next year. So
Oh,
that's just with Jamie leaving, they're adjusting. So I don't think it was like a hard, we're done. I think it was like a, we're not sure what our commitments are for the next year. So wait and see on
Yeah.
that. Otherwise, they still want to keep collaborating with us on stuff. So that's the only update.
And we were gonna try and meet with them, right?
Tentatively, yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't formalize anything.
Okay, well, maybe we could do that before January's meeting.
I guess we probably should. Okay. I don't think it's a rush, but yeah,
Or maybe in January,
maybe.
okay,
See how
I'm
we
gonna
feel.
set that up
Yeah, okay.
for January.
I'll make a note.
sometime.
To reach out to Carla. I need to
Okay.
talk to her anyway.
Okay. That is it then for old business. On to new business. Tree City USA Growth Award. Joe and I were talking about this when we were talking trees, and I know you mentioned it as well, that we thought that the initiative would be something that might work for that award. What do you think? Should we pursue that in some way?
I think we should pursue it with what it will help us with, such as a TRIMS grant or whatever they're calling it now. And maybe set our sights on when we might want to get a grant for something. And so it could be this year, next year.
So pursue it if we're going for a grant so that we get the, because you get extra points for your grant, right?
Yeah, so for instance, if we end up doing the straws replanting, that can be a growth award application, you know, I think that that's a worthy project.
So this maybe wouldn't even fall under that category, is what you're saying.
Oh, I think this would too.
Oh,
Oh, either one. Or- Oh, that's what you're talking.
yes.
Okay, yep, I think it would.
Is it worth trying to pursue it now and then we,
Yeah, I think the program's good enough, but. I don't know if it would count towards that Straub's project or. You know, if you get a growth award in 1 year, can it be applied towards?
a different
grant
year?
A year later?
Yeah, I don't know. I could talk to Mark Gruber about that.
Yeah, I think the program sounds.
Do you know? This is getting a little, I guess it's more about Tree City USA. Do you know, where that grant application stands? Cause the last time I talked to Public Works, they said Scott had it.
He had sent it a long time ago.
Sent it
To
to,
Mark. A long time ago, and before you talked to Mark, and Mark said he didn't have it.
Yeah.
and It was sent.
so it's lost somewhere. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Well, can I get a copy of it and I could,
Scott,
talk to Mark about? Like, just. Okay. That's a lot of work to put that application together and not have it go anywhere.
Scott, send it in.
But you don't know when exactly.
It was before you ran into Mark and he said he didn't have it. It had long since been there.
That was like September or August. Wow. Okay, well, I'll follow up with Scott again on it then. So that was a grant to do tree removal at the Straubs down there, getting rid of the invasive pear trees that are there and replanting with some
Oh,
native trees.
oh, yeah.
But also using
Structural.
structural soil. So Public Works had been helping us pull together the grant. So it's fallen through the cracks somehow. So I'll check in with Scott and Mark. Okay, and if we got the growth award, that could help. I would
Wait.
assume help the possibilities of getting.
Is Mark
the grant.
Gruber the city forester? Oh,
No, he's the community forester with the Missouri Department of Conservation.
yeah, I know that. That's, okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Council, is there any other questions about that stuff? The Tree City USA. Okay, then council liaison. And the next
Hi.
item.
And I'm sorry I joined a little bit late. Harry, did you already do an update on the meeting with the different chairs and Mayor Arnold?
Yeah, I did, but why don't you give an update too, because I think it would be good to have your perspective on it as well.
Yeah, and I should be better prepared for this. I have like talking points on this. I just don't have them in front of me. So this is kind of from memory, but I think, you know, it was kind of like we've got a lot of commissions that are doing great work and are very active, and that is very appreciated. We also have limited staff capacity, and for commissions to be kind of mindful of that as we send things along to staff. And that, you know, Carrie, you mentioned the thing with the video, and Jenny, like things, you know, things take time and they have other priorities as well. And so not necessarily trying to stop any projects that are going to go forward or anything like that. We're not trying to hold up stuff, but just to keep in mind, you know, staff time as well, and kind of watch what we're sending staff ways, I think is kind of the main gist of it. Just to kind of, because there's the commissions, I don't know that commissions historically have always been as active as they are right now, and which is great. We have great boards and commissions and really exciting things happening. And, you know, so that's all great, but we do have like staff time is finite, and they have a lot of priorities, you know, other than their work with the boards and commissions. So just, I think that was one of the main takeaways, but I don't know, Carrie, were there others that I don't have in front of me?
Well, the sunset law was the thing that I picked up on the most about, you know,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're having a meeting and what your minutes need to look like and your quorum.
Yeah, the sunshine law, and yeah, making sure that we're doing things in a, you know, in a public way with public meetings and agendas and documentation and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Did you hear Corin's question about we were
About the planting day?
yeah, about the planting day, because I was saying, you know, if three of us happen to meet up in the coffee shop and talk about something, you know, do we need to consider that a meeting? And the response from the lawyer was, no, that's not a meeting. You don't have a quorum, so it's not a meeting.
Yeah.
And Corin said, well, we were all together at the planting day
That was
everyone,
more than a quorum.
it was definitely
so-
more than a quorum, would that be considered a meeting? And I said, no, with my response to that.
I agree that that would not be, I mean, we weren't conducting business or you weren't conducting business or talking through things like that. Well, we have that sometimes with council too. We can go out to lunch with a couple of us, but not the whole thing. But we did go out to San Jose after a meeting that ended early a few weeks ago, and we just didn't talk about anything, meeting
business.
related or no business, no talking of votes. It's like social things can be excluded from that. But you just have to be careful and mindful of that you're not I mean, I think that what the commission does already is in line with that, but it's always good to have a reminder.
Well, somebody did ask about subcommittee meetings and that cleared the air for that too, so that was good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So that was the mayor's meeting update. And then I wanted to make sure everybody, especially in this group, knew about the stormwater plan moving forward and that there's a survey out there to get input from community members about that. And the link to that, if you look in the most recent Friday page, there's a link to it in there. And so I know that is of interest to lots of people. And so I would say, especially for this commission, I haven't even gone through it myself yet, but take a look at that and fill that out. And then, feel free to share it with friends, community members that you think might also be interested in it. So that was the stormwater one. And then we just closed the survey for the Destination WG kind of Parks and Rec bond issue and had just over 600 responses, which is fantastic. So it's always good to see that and lots of comments coming through. So that really helps. And then I just kind of wanted to just mention where we are in the process of things. So the idea is that we would put a bond issue on the April ballot. So right now, what we need to figure out is how big does that bond issue need to be? We have quite a bit of bonding capacity as other bonds get paid off. Our street bonds and Firehouse 2, as those come to a close, we have bonding it was like 22 or 23 million, something like that. We don't have to go out for the full amount, but we could go out for that amount and not see an increase in taxes. Of course, it's always like, if we didn't do it, we would see a decrease in taxes. So just like full disclosure in that, but we could go out for that amount, but that doesn't mean that we have to go out for that amount. And all the things have to be related. So that's why you see kind of a Parks and Rec theme with all the items, and you don't see, updates for Firehouse 1 plus the pool. It has to be like all Parks and Rec type of thing for that topic. And since we were already planning on doing the pool, that's why this round would be kind of a Parks and Rec theme. So we have to figure out, like, in general, what do people want to see? So that'll help us figure out how much we need to go out for. And then that would go to the voters in April. And if it passes, then each of the projects would have to go through planning and, development project by project to get that through. So, not necessarily everything that we see on the survey today will make it all the way to the finish line, but it helps us as we plan and move forward. So it's a work in progress. This stage of community involvement is really important to help us figure out in general, what does the community want to see, and in specific in some cases too, and how much do people really want to go out for. So
And where is that survey?
that survey just closed. That was the Destination WG survey. That was online, and I think there are some print versions available as well. That it closed on Friday. The survey for the stormwater master plan is, if you subscribe to the Friday page, the most recent Friday page, there's a link in there to the stormwater survey.
What is the Friday page?
The Friday page is kind of like a city newsletter that goes out every Friday that has upcoming events and surveys and kind of things of note. It's a weekly, I think calling it a weekly newsletter is probably the best description. And it is, I always find something in there that that is of interest to me. I'm just gonna go on the Webster Groves website. and
We
see if I
register to
can-
get that.
I am looking for that for you right now. I think you can just go to the city's website and
You can.
search for Friday page.
There's an option to subscribe there.
Yeah.
I'll look for it. Thank you.
Yep. I just searched for Friday page and there are a couple links that come up on the city's webpage. So I think those are my updates.
All right, thank you, Emily.
Sure.
I was pretty excited to see that stormwater survey go out, so I thought that was great news.
Yeah, me too. I love seeing that particular initiative moving forward.
Yeah.
Right, then I guess last but not least, Yvonne.
Just a couple updates. Deer Creek Playground is up and running, open for play.
Good.
And Blackburn's Playground should be open pretty soon. There's still some final touches happening. And then Ivory Crockett is getting some new playground pieces as well. So, some nice improvements in the parks.
Nice.
That is it.
Nice.
I'm just trying to find my Eco Ed series stuff, you guys, sorry. I still can't find it. All right, I will send that along with the information I got from the forms I got from the meeting with the mayor in the report card to everyone. And we will meet again at the beginning of January 8th. All right?
Good to be back.
It's great.
Yes, we hope you're back. All right, thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you.
Motion to.
Have a good holiday.
Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to
Thank you,
adjourn.
Joe. I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Goodbye.
5:57.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.